Stop wasting swings. Killing tier 5 is giving way more merits or just printing more merits from tier 4. So let's start with the first thing is why fewer merits on tier 4, even though that there is a specific amount of troops that is going to go in the hospital. If it's tier 5 is going to give more merits. Well, the short answer is just WoW value per was by design. So in Call of Dragons we're knowing that we're having different tiers. We have like tier 1 up to tier 5. So just by killing the more strong troops, like in this case what I'm showing is actually the ballista, is giving you more merits. Now some people are getting illusion, let's say like this, because when they're fighting tier 4 they're getting more merits with their tier 5, but at the end of the day, if you look how many troops you put in the hospital from the enemy side, you're going to see that you put like 2 or 3 times more troops from the enemy side in the hospital, not because like tier 4 is giving the same amount like tier 5. Now, should you actually ignore tier 4? This actually come as a question in my mind, and well, first of all, you can clearly see which is a tier 4 or tier 5. This is, for example, tier 5. I'm not quite sure which one. I think this is a tier 4, not like 100% sure, but this is tier 5 infantry. The marksman is also tier 5. Just by looking the legion, if it's a gold one, most likely this is actually a tier 5. Now, normally in the battle when you're fighting zoom out, it's very hard to actually pick what is tier 4 or tier 5. So I will not bother that much what kind of troop I'm going to kill on the battlefield. Obviously all the enemy troops should be sent at home, so it didn't actually matter that much. But if you're fighting against alliance that is tier 5 and alliance that have for tier 4, you're just going to see actually spike in the merits, but in the same time, but just by opening the reports, you're going to see that you actually sent more troops from the enemy in the hospital. So no, actually, if you have a chance to prioritize tier 5, just do it. If you have a chance to kill tier 4, just do it. All the enemy troops have to go in the hospital. Now, how to identify tier 5 targets? Well, it's just by the gear and how they look. I already said that is way more easy. If I go outside with 2 different legions, I'm going to go maybe with the mages. This is going to be Vestos, one of the legion, and the second one is going to be with Vestos, but it's going to be tier 4. And if we go outside, it's very hard actually to see. This should be tier 5. As you can see, they're a little more different, but you have to zoom in a lot to actually see what is the difference. And obviously this is a tier 4. They don't have this thing in their hand. They actually have it, but it's not that big like in the tier 5. Now this is one of the way. Obviously mages is a little hard to actually see which one is tier 5 or tier 4, but if you go with infantry or maybe cavalry or any kind of other troop, you're definitely going to see the difference. So right now I'm just going to go with maybe infantry. This is the swordsman, and here I'm going to put infantry. This is a swordsman tier 4. So here the difference is very clear. As you can see, they are just yellow. This one is having little yellow, but it's not fully yellow. So the tier 5 infantry, cavalry, and marksmen can be easily see it. But for the mages, things are one idea more hard. This is how you can actually spot. Now, it's little more hard for the if you're Wilderberg. If you're Wilderberg, is not little, is way more harder from what you can actually see. Even if you go in your base and maybe check it out, the cavalry, you're going to see this is a blue one, this is more yellow one. But from the fraction, if I can actually see from the fraction how the things are looking in Wilderberg, well, this one is looking, it's very hard to be not set which one is a tier 5 or tier 4. So yeah, don't bother that much which one is a tier 5 or tier 4, or how to identify the targets there. Now, is focus far worth it? And the short answer for this is yes. Is basically a high value way to go. Something that Call of Dragons actually provide lately is when you go with like 5-4 legion, let's say, you click on one target, you kill the target, and after this your legion is start hitting randomly. This is something like an auto attack if if the enemy legions is in your range. This is very fast, very nice, because you're not actually losing time, but in the same time your legion can actually get splitted, because if your mage is somewhere here, for example, you move around some castle and one of the mages is on one side, the other mages is on other side, they may start hitting different targets. I strongly suggest always control your legions and hit a single target. Like this, you're just going to have better. First of all, you're going to send the enemy legion way more faster from this hitting like 5 legions half hour, and is giving way more merits like this. Now, what is the risk and the rewards in situation when you're hitting tier 4 or tier 5? Well, there is a couple things. The first one is you're going to receive more damage. This is the first thing, because the infantry, or maybe some heroes that are infantry based, like maybe let's say Goresh or whatever, every infantry is having by default like 50% counterattack. I think this one unlock, no, it's actually this one, swordsman skill. I think this one is giving like 50%, like each time lose 2% of the unit's physical attack increase, blah blah blah. It's not actually this one, I think. No, yeah, your swordsman can launch counterattack when hit by range attacks, deals 50%. So by default, if you're hitting something that is more weak, you're going to receive less counterattack. If you hit something that are more strong, you're going to receive more counterattack. So this is the downside from hitting a tier 5, and the upside is you're going to get more merits just by sending home more tier 5 troops from tier 4, for example. It's just better ratio merits per time. Now, something else that can actually help you in this whole composition, I can actually say, is actually artifacts. Not many people are looking that close over the artifacts, but artifacts is also giving merits. So just by hitting somebody with crazy amount of damage, 2, 3, 4 legion, single legion, by doing crazy amount of damage on the single legion, artifacts for me are extremely valuable. Also the pets, so if you're looking to even boost more your damage, definitely focus over your artifacts or your pets. At one point you're going to have like, let's say, 1 million troops. The moment you're having like 1 million troops, you can just resource heal these troops and maybe not focus that much. I feel this thing like my personal mistake, that I focus that much over the troops. But if you have strong artifacts and strong pets, even if you have less troops, you can just resource heal these troops and continue fighting, doing absolutely great value with your 300k Spartans from this to have more troops, but at the same time not that well developed artifacts and pets. Now, something that I also want to mention is about the reports. Always when you have some fights, you can go and check out your reports. And here I have a report that I did with my mages. Just by clicking maybe over this bad boy here, I can clearly see, first of all, what is inside. Is a tier 5 swordsman. When you see pretty crazy traits like this one, maybe there's going to be a tier, okay, here is still tier 5. The majority of the case is going to be tier 5 since I'm fighting against tier 5 people. But it's not only that, for example, this Goresh and Skogo is awakened, but also what kind of troops they're having inside. The majority of the case is going to be tier 5, but here, for example, we are having tier 4, and you're going to see that we have like 509 merits, which is absolutely nothing. Even though that's like 1.2k, here is still infantry, but here the heroes are not awakened. Here also the heroes, it's also depends how far you are with your heroes. But yeah, at the end of the day, if you see some crazy reports, you can also check it out against who you actually received these reports and how valuable they are. Again, 66k swordsman tier 5, and it's like 53 merits. Yeah, it's looking small amount of merits. It's not something wild or crazy what people are seeing in the reports, but every small report can actually help you understanding, first of all, your legion. And because I'm extremely happy with Liliya Thea, I try Liliya variant, but the results I'm getting with Liliya Thea is just on the roof, so I'm keeping Liliya Thea together. But yeah, against every report you're having, you can just go and check it out and see how your legion are performing. This is a good suggestion I can say, and like this you can even build your own legions without watching videos or etc. Just try to make your legion better, do some testing, see what works, see what don't work, and just build your legion, because you may not have all the artifacts, pets that the Kraken and whales are having. So yeah, this will be for this video, guys. If you get that far, consider hitting one like. It support the videos, it support my videos, and it's helping for YouTube algorithm. Also subscribe if you're new here. Let me know in the comments your personal opinion over killing tier 4 or tier 5. Are you actually picking going for tier 4, or it didn't actually matter for you, or you only tried to kill tier 5 troops? I'm curious, is the people actually care that much over this thing? But I see some questions here and there that I just decided to make a video about it. I wish you a great day, great week, and see you in the next video.